Oh no, I forgot to unmute myself and unmute the game. Good evening, everyone. We are live for round 4 of Formula Rookie here on AOR. I started the stream too late, so no kickoff with the fancy Project Cars intro today. We are just live for the quali. Little over 30 minutes to go right now. Weaving all over the straight Kirovnik, and ahead of him that is, I have no idea who that is, but warming up the tires nonetheless. Everyone out on the circuit. We have Silverstone, the short layout today. Uh, I actually haven't never have raced the short layout really. So pretty alien-like to me. Let me like fire up the Silverstone circuit map. I don't know the corner names. And well, last round we didn't have a stream. I was too busy and too sleepy, and we didn't have a replacement in. But last time round, first race a win for Tony Clifton. Second place went to Ticklish Picklewickle, and third to WMDR Martin. In race 2, the Hungarian Tony Clifton, our championship leader, took P3. His third place, and WMDR Martin picked up his first win. GC Rider took second. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In the standings right now, Tony Clifton is leading WMDR Martin by 13 points. GC Rider a little bit of a big gap to P1, 75 points of a gap. You can check the standings on the apexonline.racing site. But in the quali session we have to like the pole with the pole time actually right now. 1:15.3. Kirovnik on another lap, now going through what corner that is? Through village. Now through the loop. I'm actually wondering how those cars look. Oh, that's a big cut, and that's going to be an invalidation, it seems. Wait, we need to do one thing. Actually, we didn't get a message in the race feed. I don't think that lap was invalidated, but in the meantime, Tony Clifton going with a 1:14.9. Quite a fast time. I think in the hot lap mode, in the hot laps, we saw WMDR Martin taking a 1:13.4, I believe it was. Let me check. He took a 1:13.6, excuse me, taking the quickest time in the time trial leaderboard. Old Padawan, or Tony Clifton as we all know him, only 1:14.4, but it seems like WMDR Martin can't channel his pace yet. But he's now crossing the start-finish line, and that's not an improvement. Wondering, oh, and Old Padawan improves his lap. Lord Aronoas just behind him, actually beating his whole lap. And Lord Arono now 1:14.4. Old Padawan 1:14.5 behind him. But like I was saying, some problems for WMDR Martins. It seems he can't channel his pace yet, as we all would want him to do. Got no game audio. Sounds like Formula Electric. Yeah, it is there, Andrex. I forgot to unmute the... I forgot to unmute the audio feed with when I started streaming. Also, pleasure to have you here, Andrex. Memories of commentating the first season of the league with you. I was shitting my pants commentating back then. Not saying I don't do now, but I think it's a little bit easier, especially getting experience doing that with you. We miss you here on AOR. Would be a pleasure to have you back in the league, but I know you are retired now. And Tori Clifton 114.1, so we are getting ever closer to the magical 113 barrier. And Stephen Carey goes P4. 114.8, hopefully he can keep it up in the race. Some issues for him early in the season after he finally figured out his issues with the game. I'm not really sure, but he always had those issues with his PC, with his Windows. But changing to Windows 11 actually helped him. So good news there, and we can finally see him race. Well, and WMD Martin nearing the end of the lap right now. Going through. That is Vale. I think it is Vale. Now through Club. And crossing onto the Hamilton straight. Let's see if he can improve his lap time. That's a 7/10 improvement. WMD Martin 114.7. Taking the 4th position on the grid right now. Provisional, of course. And we have 7 minutes to go in the session. Pretty close grid today. 2.7 seconds between P1 and P11. That's what we want to see, of course. Maybe let's follow around with Lord Arono for a lap. He seems pretty much on pace today. Actually, right now, 100th of a second of pole time of Tony Clifton. There are quite some names that I'm not going to lie. Would be great to have in here. Jogurk, Andrix, and some few other guys to make the series even more interesting, but we have a pretty close fight for the title. Also, from what I heard, these Zhuhai race, I'm not that good with Chinese, but the last round was probably the most exciting one yet, but I couldn't be there for it, sadly. But let's see, Lord Aranoa's no crossing the line, not improving. I'm saying Lord Arono us all the time because he has, I mean, I think not in the Steam name anymore, but he has it on Discord. The US flag just appears as US instead of the flag in itself, so I'm mistaking it all the time. Dudek the pole, 1/10 off Old Padawan right now. We all know he has the pace and the potential to fight for a win, but sadly, something goes wrong all the time. Let's follow our coordinator and moderator, Ticklish Pikowiko, or the crossing now through Club. 5 minutes to go in the session. And here he is crossing the start-finish line now, not improving. WMD Martin also crosses the line. Improves his lap finally into the 114th, by the way. 114.4 it is now. Well, we of course have to value in the track conditions. Also, time trial car is probably a little bit quicker due to tires up to temperature, no fuel load really, but I think WMD Martin can still probably go a bit better. Also, I see this crossing through that is what was the code name again? Through Chapel. Everyone's cutting it. They are not getting invalidation, so I think it's some taking advantage of the issues with the game, because we all know the Project CARS 2 track limit system is quite strict, but you can extend it in, I think, one of the only exceptions where you can actually extend and get away with it in the game. Also, I remember some rounds in the season 14 of GT3 where I participated, where there were races that everyone had a penalty, 1 or 2 seconds, but everyone had a penalty. Some trucks, it's just really hard to avoid it. Hello Dal King, welcome to the chat. 3 minutes left in the session. Old Padawan, still on pole position, still 100th of a second behind him is Lord Arano. WMD Martin still in 4th. We know he can go faster, but not yet. Not yet. Maybe he will. Maybe he's sandbagging. Maybe he's doing the Mercedes struts. Maybe he will fire the bullets in the race. Well, that wasn't a good metaphor considering the current situation in the world. But anyway, let's go back to the session. Dudek now will start his flying lap, letting go one of the cars, I guess hoping for some slipstream on the hangar straight. Actually, we have some cars into the pits right now, despite it's the dying minutes of the session. It's pretty much one lap you can get in if you leave the pits now. Or can you? No, it's too late actually. But it's little time left to set lap time in the session. Actually, WMD Martin entered the pit and now left them again, but he will. I can't count. Sorry, my maths are really bad. But he has time. He will of course have time to set a lap time. My brain's just not working on the car on the correct brain waves. Also, maths never my strong suit. Also, COVID has fried my brain. Like, I can't focus I can't focus at all after getting COVID. That's sim racing. I actually, it's actually an exception for sim racing. I have finally hit a flat 2-0 on Sebring in the GT3 cars. Maybe I could do a 59 if I practice enough. And well, that's a good information since the Sebring 12 hours soon. I've also done a MX5 race on Nordschleife today. It was hell of an experience, really fun. Well, Nordschleife in the Green Hell, it's a very difficult circuit. I'm not a big fan of racing there because I usually crash. But without any practice, I finished the race. I jumped 4 positions from my starting position, and in the MX5 League, it's actually a random grid. And old Padawan will not finish his current lap. So he will not improve. Lord Arano won't improve either. Dudek still on a flying lap, crossing through club right now. Let's see if he can beat Tony Clifton to the pole position spot. He crosses the line. And it doesn't look like an improvement. But we still have WMD Martin and too fast on their flying laps. So let's follow WMD. Oh, WMD Martin actually not on a fast lap. Too fast, still actually setting a lap time, but though I don't think he will improve enough to set a pole position lap. As we see right now, only 3/10 of an improvement. So Tony Clifton takes pole position for the Silverstone sprint race. Another pole position for the Hungarian. Lord, I don't know, 1/100th of a second off. As we see from the sector times, he was quite a bit slower in the second sector. He improved that. That would be an easy pole position for him. To take the pole, taking third, not quite on pole position today. WMD Martin 4th, Kierovnik in 5th, 2nd of the 8 Stars Racing Team Cars, Stephen Carey in 6th, Ticklish Pickle starts 7th, then you have GC Rider quite low, quite down the grid, comparing to his previous adventures. Too Fast in 9th, Needle Up 10th, and his Bajura teammate finishes off the grid in 11th. One I just noticed we have quite a big representation of Dutch and Belgian guys. Actually want to check Twitter, give me a second. Okay, mechanical fault Ticklish Pickle, but I think that's for quali, so nothing to worry about. Quite calm on the chat right now. Only 2 viewers. That's not good news. Maybe we will get more as we progress through the race, as we enter the feature race. We'll see. Actually surprising that all the Bajra guys are furthest down the grid. But maybe they'll pick up the pace in the future rounds. And that's it. 5 lights are on and we are underway for the sprint race. Let's check Old Padawan, actually with a slower start than Lord Arano, it seems, as they cross through Abbey. But Old Padawan keeps the lead for now. Let's see it from a little bit of a further perspective. Lord Arano defends from Dudek the pole and he keeps for second position. WMD Martin going a little bit deep, still keeping 4th. Dudek now fighting through Chapel for 2nd, but he won't have it for now. GC Rider having a slow start. It looks like damage, and that's not good news for the championship contender. Let's go back to trackside action. WMD Martin actually now defending from Dudek, I think, and going wide through Stowe. Now defending from Stephen Carey, taking the inside for Vale. And it seems like he'll keep the spot for now. Dudek now right on the gearbox of Lord Arano. I don't know either, but maybe a move lining up into Abbey. Let's see. Oh, Dudek going a little bit wide through Abbey, out through Farm. And it's calm waters. It's also no blood in the water yet, unless you consider GC Rider being one. I think away back to the pits. Yes, he is in right now. Oh, and that was quite close from Lord Arano there. Going a little bit deep. Now getting overtaken by Dudek. On Hunger Straight. Let's check it from Lord Arano's perspective. He seems to be dropping a little bit off. Also, let's maybe get the trackside map. I really like to have it on. Old Padawan locking into Vale. Locking up into Vale, of course. Let's check Dudek's on board. And we are starting lap 3. Dudek following old Padawan closely, actually gaining on him as we are getting ever closer to village. Oh, and Dudek goes for a move deep down in village, and he takes the lead. Well, that's quite an aggressive move, and Lord Arano now attacking Dudek. Old Padawan coming back at him, and we are having 2 wide right now on the Hunger Strait. Lord Arano took the lead for a brief moment, but I think he will be in danger as we are coming into Stowe. 3 wide into Stowe. Let's see how will it play out. And old Padawan gets his lead back momentarily. WMD Martin enters the fight. As we are heading into Vale, old Padawan will keep the lead, Dudek going down the inside of WMD Martin. As we are entering Lewis Hamilton Strait, they lock wheels, but WMD Martin still alongside Dudek. Let's see how it will play out now. Lord Arnold dropping into 4th after taking the lead earlier. And WMD Martin keeps the 2nd place for now. Oh, that squabble between P2, P3 and P4 got old Padawan 1 second of a gap to the pack fighting for P2. Seems like DC Rider is pretty much out of the race. He is still in pits repairing his car after that lap 1 incident. Well, it's only one it's only one victim of lap 1, but there could be 0. Kierownik getting ever closer to the lead pack, so we could have a 5-way fight for the win. Oh, and Dudek locks up into Stowe, goes slowly now, and could face a potential challenge from his teammate. Dudek dropping from 2nd all the way to E4. But Kierownik gets quite a weak exit, I think, from club right now. And we see WMD Martin diminishing that gap. That was over 1 second now, down to 6/10 to old Padawan. So they already know old Padawan is vulnerable. Will they attack? Will they catch up? We will see. Possibly. We have 12 laps left in this sprint race, so still plenty of time to attack. Still plenty of time to make moves. And WMD Martin gets a great run on old Padawan. Surprisingly good. Possible that old Padawan had some penalty in there. He had to slow down. Or maybe he had that bad of an exit. Lord Arano actually slowing down as well. I think that's oh, I think there was some contact there. I think that's the matter of getting a penalty. As they have cut Chapel quite heavily. WMD Martin takes the lead. Old Padawan dropping into 2nd, Dudek regaining 3rd position. Lord Arano in 4th. Kierownik pretty much ready in the bush to attack, getting ever closer to the lead pack, like I said earlier. Old Padawan lost the lead, but still close behind WMD Martin. Locks up into village. Dudek gains time due to that. Let's see as they are heading on to Hunger Strait right now, and old Padawan in danger, as is Dudek the Paw, getting attacked by Lord Arano right now. Let's see as they are crossing Stowe yet again. Lord Arano getting the better of Dudek through Stowe, having the inside for the next corner, and he will take P3 now, as we are starting lap 7. Oh, another close, close, well, not close start, close occurrence for, I don't know, for Lord Arano. Someone teach me proper English. And Lord Padawan old Padawan, looking up into village once again. WMD Martin building up the gap to P2. Could be a second win, excuse me, for the Belgian. And Dudek and Kironic have dropped a little bit from the lead pack. Reminds me a bit of Ferrari, because they are not quite fighting for the podiums, but still quite high in the top 10. 8 Stars Racing, right now P4 and P5. And those Padawan getting closer to WMD Martin yet again. And WMD Martin with a big slide off that corner as they are crossing Club right now onto the Lewis Hamilton straight. Possible attack being lined up by by old Padawan, going to the outside, touching wheels with WMD Martin, losing the momentum, but the leader goes wide right now. Let's see how it plays out into village. Old Padawan going around the outside, touching wheels once again. That allows Lord Aronau to have a run on the Hungarian. And let's see, they are now on Hunger Straight. And Old Padawan drops into 4th. Dudek the pole taking 3rd. And Kirovnik could possibly overtake Old Padawan as well. Let's see. Close. Oh, and they touch, and Old Padawan goes off. Well, that could be big damage to the championship hopes of Old Padawan right now. He drops into 5th. We know he's quite quick, but so are the leaders. Could be too late for him to catch up to the lead pack right now, to the top 3. WMD Martin leads from Lord Aronau and Dudek the pole. They are all within 1 second of each other. Let's see how it plays out as we are starting lap 9. Here on AOR Formula Rookie. Don't tune your televisors or whatever you're watching on. Dudek the pole, possibly lining a move into Chapel. Let's see. He backs out of it. It's interesting how everyone takes Chapel in a bit of different way depending on the driver. But let's see Lord Aronau getting a slingshot run through Hunger Straight right now as they are heading on to Stowe for the 9th time, or the 10th time actually. And Lord Aronau goes too wide, close but no cigar. Let's see as they are heading into the next corner. Lord Aronau backs off for now. Old Padawan, further problems as he is dropping to P8 right now. 1 minute off, something happened there, something wrong happened there. Not necessarily sure what happened, but he is 1 minute off. Unfortunately, I can't follow all the trackside action at once. I'm not a really great cameraman, not an F1 one that will send to Lance Stroll when it's needed. But Lord Aronau still very close to WMD Martin through village now as they are heading onto the Hunger Straight. I was holding my breath there already. I was already sure they would touch, but it's not the case. Lord Aronau on WMD Martin's gearbox. He will go alongside him into Stowe. They touch wheels. Lord Aronau briefly ahead of WMD Martin, getting touched by the Belgian. He loses his momentum, and now Dudek the pole challenges him for his 2nd spot. Let's see who gets a better run onto the Hamilton straight. Again, all that squabbling in P2 and P3 is going to give the leader an advantage. That's not what they want, but they will fight anyway. Let's see Dudek the pole hiding behind Lord Arano for now, as they go through Abbey for the 12th time. And on the Hamilton Hunger Street, nothing happening really. It's a bit of a calm after the storm, not before the storm. We got enough storms already. Tony Clifton dropping into 8th after a touch and stow. Or I don't know, catching up to WMD Martin once again after that brief fight roll with Dudek, as they are starting lap 12 right now. Let's see. And Lord Arno will try to go down the inside into village, does so, and takes the lead of the race. But it's not over for WMD Martin, and Dudek the Pole is, well, not alongside him anymore, but he is hungry for the top 2 positions as well. And Lord Arno keeps the lead for now, but 2 competitors behind him. They have slipstream, they have the pace. Let's see how it unfolds as we have 5 laps to go. So we are getting ever closer to the race finish. WMD Martin again on the rear axle of Lord Arno, going around the outside into the chicane. Inside for the second corner, gets a bad exit, and Dudek the Pole will overtake him. Let's see, they are starting lap 13 now, going into Abbey. Dudek the Pole actually gaining momentum on Lord Arano, will try to make a move into village. Goes down the inside, close, and he will take the lead. And that's the lead for Dudek. Already so many lead changes in the race. I'm not saying it's bad that Tony Clifton dropped from the fight for the win, but it has actually got us some lead changes and some great fight for the lead. Old Padawan in P8, of course, after that stow crash, and we could see 3 wide into the chicane right now. Lord Arano keeps the lead for now. Dudek the Pole follows, and WMD Martin will try to make a move close to a crash right there. Gets the momentum of the second turn in the chicane. Will take second for now. And WMD Martin has the superior line for Abbey. Will keep his second place. And that is allowing Lord Arano to run away with the lead right now. But the gap diminishing once again after WMD Martin left Dudek with a bit of a gap. Let's see now, in the background, what's going on is Kirovnik is actually catching up to the podium. We could see a double podium here for... Oh, no, that's actually Tony Clifton that lapped. Excuse me, that's my mistake. But in the meantime, Dudek with a bit of a gap to P2 right now. WMD Martin still on the back of Lord Arano. 3 laps to go, and we still could have 3 different winners and many different outcomes. And WMD Martin touches Lord Arano, but keep going. They don't seem to have damage. So far so good. So we are starting lap 15. And that touch has allowed the Depot to get a run on WMD Mountain once again, not what the Belgian would have wanted, as he would prefer to fight for the win, not squabble for P2 right now. But it is what it is. It is close racing. It is very close racing indeed in those cars. As they are heading through Hunger Strait once again, crossing the bridge. Dudek could line a move into Stowe. Let's see now. He will keep himself behind WMD Martin for now. Sliding through the chicane, obviously the way to drive those cars. You can throw them around as much as you want. We had some pretty amazing onboards in the first season, where we had one of our drivers on a controller, or was it on a keyboard? I think it was on a controller. And Dudek the Paul getting a run on WMD Martin, who went a little bit wide. They are both getting ever closer to the leader now, as they are not fighting for now. Dudek the Paul having to brake a little bit. WMD Martin hasn't got a good run through the corner here. Once again. Now sliding, drifting through Stowe. We are getting ever closer to the last lap of the race. Still 3 contendants fighting for the win. Dudek the Paul getting a better exit of the corner once again. But he has to watch out for WMD Martin's back. As we are starting the last lap of the race, Lord Arno leading from WMD Martin and Dudek the Paul, the two right on his back, but they prioritize fighting amongst each other, and Dudek the Paul goes on the grass and keeps it going. Good news for him. Even better for WMD Martin, who gains due to Dudek going onto the grass. Bad exit of the corner for WMD Martin will allow Dudek the Paul to get a run on him. And I think that pretty much means that Lord Arno will take the win. But let's see, everything can still happen. Dudek the Paul now going alongside WMD Martin into Stowe. Taking the wide line, can't make the move stick, but maybe a dive bomb into the second to last turn. Let's see, that is indeed the case. They go side by side. Dudek takes the inside, pushes WMD Martin wide. Let's see, that will be a fight for P2, a photo finish perhaps for the two. Let's see. And that is Lord Arno taking the win. Dudek the Paul second, and WMD Martin drops with a penalty. That's Kierownik taking the last spot on the podium. WMD Martin going into the wall, very photo-like. So here it is, Lord Arno runs away with the victory from P2 and P3 fighting amongst each other. Trying to do a burnout in this Formula rookie car. Takes his first win of the season. Dudek takes second and Kierownik third, a double podium for 8 Stars Racing. WMD Martin probably not happy with the outcome. He was in the lead for a brief moment, and the penalty drops him off the podium. Because Picowico takes fifth. Then we have all from Bajura, Stephen Carey, and let's see the rest of the runners in a second. Then we have Old Padawan, unlucky crash, not sure what happened there. He dropped a lap down. Too fast in ninth, needed up 10th, and GC Rider classified in 11th, 3 laps down, takes the last spot after the lap 1 incident. So that's race 1 done and dusted, but stay with us. We still have the feature race to go, and considering we had such heavy fights for the lead, it can only get better. So join me in a few minutes as we will be back for the feature race. 40 minutes of racing around Silverstone, the short layout. A great circuit for those cars, a lot of straights for overtaking as well as corners that are quite awesome for those cars. So be back with you in a minute. So we are getting ready for the sprint race. For the feature race, of course. Excuse me. And in the meantime, I have changed the battery in my foot scale, which is named Silvercrest, funnily enough. Oh, and I see we have another one of those mass disconnect lobbies, sadly. Oh. Stickler started practice instead of race. But anyway, we'll be back soon then. Unless you don't know how many screw-ups throughout the season you can have, but this happens. I had screwed up myself while being a coordinator once as well. I mean, I screwed up twice. Once I ran late for the race, 1 hour late. So I actually joined for race 2. Luckily enough, there was another coordinator in the lobby. They started the lobby and the race won. And second time is when I think I don't remember what I have done actually. I've either freaked up something with quali or with the race itself. I have said something wrong. So SRO Ginetta GT4 Ginetta Cup. SRO still races in Project CARS. What? What? But anyway, we'll be back soon enough. Stay with us on the stream. So this time round, I think we are actually getting ready for this feature race. Consider the thing that happened previously as something that hasn't actually happened. And also in the meantime, I changed the battery in my foot scale, but I already said that. I could play a little roleplay here, so I will. I came down to uh, the pits, and I saw Tony Clifton really unhappy with what happened there. Oh, big beef between him and Kierovnik, I'm pretty sure. Also, due to that hit with Kierovnik, what seems to have happened is a damage to Tony Clifton's antenna or whatever that counts the laps correctly. And the time he has lost due to that will could be fixed. I'm not sure what will happen. But I think that will be fixed. And Padawan starting P2 for this race after that unhappy incident that left him in shambles after race 1. So, everything on the cards for him could get a big lead on the first lap, considering that WMD Martin and the rest have to catch up. And remember, this race starts with a formation lap. As usual, Project CARS doesn't have a formation lap system, so we have to do it manually. The trademark AOR formation lap, or whatever did they call it. I have noticed I'm bipolar as like a Twitter girl. It's actually my mistake. Old Padawan won't be starting second. He will be starting actually quite high. So surprising. I think he finished 8th, so he should be starting P3. If I'm not wrong. Wonder what happened there. But anyway, progressing with the formation lap. Also, GC Rider is starting first after that unlucky crash on lap 1 in race 1. Beautiful weaving in the background. So GC Rider, another racer with a big chance in this race, considering he's pretty quick, but was quite unlucky both in qualifying and in the race. He qualified 8th for race 1 and had that crash obviously before the first race, because we don't have the standings updated yet. He is third in the standings. 3 second places to his name, 1 third. No wins yet. Maybe he can take one in this race, but we are getting ever closer to the Hamilton straight. I'm getting ready for the race start, of course. Flying starts, GC Rider dictates the pace. When he says go, the entire field will go on his command. And they are getting ready. They are getting ever closer. And GC Rider... Oh my goodness! And that is Kierovnik with a hefty crash. But let's continue with the start. GC Rider keeps the lead after that. Big crash in the back. Too fast. Keeps the second place. Nidalap follows in third. Paul side by side with WMD Martin. The Belgian disposing of him. Maybe not yet. They lock wheels as we go into Chapel. WMD Martin prioritizing the exit, and he will jump into fourth. And Kierovnik is out of the race after that crash. Not surprising. P4. I think that... No, that was P3. Excuse me. A podium in race 1. Big crash on the start of this race. WMD Martin moves into 4th. Old Padawan moves into 5th. Paul lets them both go. Even Kerry follows them, but let's see how the leaders are faring. GC Rider keeps the lead. Great start from him. Too fast keeps the second place. I'm pretty sure he's happy with that, considering his results so far weren't quite as he would have wanted. Best finish for him is 4th on Sprint Race in Zhuhai. The rest is starting from round 1. P10 disconnect 8, 10, 11 disconnect 4 and 7. English Pickle Wickle now squabbling with Stephen Carey and with Paul, I think. Dudek in P9 can't quite make up ground after that start. Possibly his teammates crashed, left him traumatized, but we don't really know. Dudek will actually make some ground up finally now, as he is moving down the inside and Stowe takes P8 from English Pickle Wickle. I should call him TPW, it's much more convenient. But TPW not done yet. Forces Dudek a little bit wide, but that does not amuse him. Dudek keeps 8. Let's go back into the leaders fight. Needle up, getting the inside of too fast for Abby, and he takes P2 without any problems. WMD Martin does the same for P3 and goes down the inside of Needle up into village. 2 places in 3 corners. Well, that's a great deal. I'm pretty sure he would take that for granted. WMD Martin now into second. Could finally be a chance for a podium for him. Obviously took podiums before, but not today. P4 in race 1 after that 7 seconds penalty. While only 10 drivers make that 11 and join the series. Let's see, Too Fast actually still not done. Following Needle up pretty closely. Then we have Old Padawan. English Pickle Wickle moves up into 7th. Finally enough, 2 coordinators fighting each other. Oh! Even Kerry going slowly. I think he let Duda go. Maybe some incident between them, but we couldn't have seen it. Old Padawan getting ever closer to Too Fast. Could be making a move into village. Let's see that is indeed the case. Looks up as usual and takes P4. I said that it could be difficult for Old Padawan. Wait, no. I said it could be easier for him as he was supposed to start in the front, but he didn't. Well, that's my mistake. So, no trackside action in the front for now. If top 5 going close to each other. WMD and Martin goes a tiny bit wide. But I see there are some squabbles in the back. Well, 54P6 is going on. English Pickle Wickle, Lord I don't know, and Paul in that battle. Too Fast overtakes Needle up on the start finish straight. He will take 4th, but let's see. Actually hasn't finalized the move yet, but here it is. Haven't used the cockpit cam yet, really. Let's maybe make a little bit of more use for it now. Stephen Carey gets penalized for track limits. 2 seconds penalty. And well, we have quite closely matched on pace. Top 3. Old Padawan, WMD, Martin and GC Rider. We could see another fantastic fight for the win. Maybe, hopefully, Dudek catches them up. Maybe we have a 4-way fight. GC Rider heads in for an early pit stop as we see droplets of rain. So GC Rider could be in for a really good time to stop if he puts on wets. Because we are supposed to have wet weather in the race. And if GC Rider indeed makes the right call and goes for the wets. I think that could put him in a very good position, but I'm not entirely sure he changed the tires. Could be only refueling. If he didn't change the tires, could mean a very costly mistake for him. WMD Martin takes the lead after the Brit has put it into the pits. Out Padawan jumps into second, and quite a big margin between P2 and P3 right now. So Out Padawan actually gaining many seconds, I don't know. But he goes alongside WMD Martin into the chicane right now. But close but no cigar. More and more drops of rain. It's pretty much starting to fall out. All out rain right now. Hickory jumped into the 6th place, disposed of Poe and of Dudek and of Stephen Carey. It's not going well for Dudek now, as he was fighting for the win in race 1 and now down into 8th. We'll see if anyone's pulling it into the pits this lap, as it is getting wetter and wetter with each second. But it doesn't look like the track is wet yet. But what I said just made literally no sense. Anyway, you get it. It's raining. It could be wet soon. Those Padawan, calm and composed in P2 right now. Not letting that incident in race 1 ruin his day. As we are starting lap 9. Lap 9. Oh, pulling into the pits. Let's see what strategy call does he make. Whether he changes tires or not. GC Rider has some clean air after pulling into the pits early. Oh, doesn't look like Paul is changing tires? Or does it? No, it doesn't look like it. And Loader, I don't know, getting a run on Needle Up will be making a move now. Where is he? Well, he has made a move already. As he is heading through Stowe, that is Lord I don't know, into P4, the only American on the grid, and doing a pretty good job representing his country. Representing, not representing. Yeah, representing his country. Anyway. Paul last after that pit stop. GC Rider has jumped him. But it seems like GC Rider has lost some time because he was in the lead and... Well... Paul... quite down the positions before that pit stop. And he has come out only... I mean, he is right now only 2 seconds behind GC Rider. Could be that GC Rider changed tires or refueled more. We don't really know because we can't see it on this game, sadly. I mean, I don't know if any game has like good pit stop animations. F1 has pretty decent ones, so we can see what's going on. But obviously only tire change and wing change can occur there, so... Also, front wing downforce change. Tupa's doing a pretty good job keeping it in third right now. Really good result for him so far. But Lord Arano is getting ever closer to him. And in the front, old Padawan and WMDM Martin still uh, with each other. Too Fast, Dudek and Stephen Curry all penalized for track limits. And you can see that it is actually getting wetter and wetter. The track doesn't look so grippy, so dry anymore. And WMDM Martin under attack now. Old Padawan in front of him and takes the lead of the race. And let's see if WMDM Martin tries to make a counter into Stone. That is not the case. No is the answer. Old Padawan takes third from Too Fast on the same straight. And Lord Arano will head into the pits straight after making that move. Could be our first pit stop onto the wet tires. Let's see if that's the case. Too Fast follows him. Same to Needle Up and to the pole. Will that? Oh, and Lord Arno running over the feet of whose mechanic is that? Not sure. Someone who, oh, yeah, not sure whose mechanic was that, but someone had their feet run over, and old Padawan still close to WMD and Martin. Well, they are not disconnecting each other from each other right now. But those two will sooner or later also have to make a pit stop, and we'll see if who of these two will come out victorious from that pit fight. And old Padawan comes into the pits first. Could mean for WMD Amaten that he has some clean air. But we also have to consider that the conditions are quite tricky right now. So we'll see what that one lap extension from old Padawan strategy will mean for WMD Amaten. Picklish Picklico or TPW is into the pit. Old Padawan already out of his pit stop, and we can see from WMD Martin's wheel inputs that it is getting slidey indeed. And well, Too Fast back into third after that pit stop round. Seems, oh, WMD Martin pretty close there to a evitable death. Too Fast gaining on that pit stop fight, and WMD Martin is in. GC Rider surprisingly still 9th. It seems like he is not on pace today. I mean, he's on dry tire still. That early pit stop was a big mistake. But it doesn't keep him from making a move on even Kerry right now. Hitting the curb slightly and keeping the place anyway. WMD Martin already out of the pits. Wet tires are indeed on his car. And let's see, old Padawan actually rejoining behind WMD Martin. So despite the struggles on the in-lap, WMD Martin gains from the overcut. Well, that is surprising indeed. Dudek moves into 4th, makes a move on middle up, but better exit for the Bajura driver, and he regains his podium position. But let's see how it unfolds on the hangar straight now. Let's see from the cockpit view. Down the inside into stall. Going a little bit wide, but it... Oh, Lord Dominooo is out! And so is Nidala. Just my awareness. And damage for Lord Dominooo. That is him into the pits now. And so do Nidala heavy damage. To both the American and the Dutch driver, excuse me if I'm mistaken, will go into the pits. No, that is any chance of a good finish tarnished for those two drivers. A collision in Stowe, I sadly didn't catch it out. Would be helpful to have a cameraman to blame it on. WMD Mountain keeps the lead vault, Old Padawan catching him up after that. Oh, I can't call it a blunder, but it wasn't the right decision to pit one lap earlier than WMD Mountain. Actually staying out on wet circuit was the correct move. Dudek the Pole now fighting with Ticklish Picklewickle. The Dane briefly up into fourth. Let's see now he could get a good run into Abbey. We all know that he is one of the safest and calmest drivers on the grid. He won't go for impulsive or dangerous maneuvers. He backs out of it. Loses some time, but continues to live on another day, I guess. WMD Martin, pretty calm cruise in P1 right now. Could be a second win for the Belgian unless Old Padawan does something about it. And it doesn't seem like he has the pace to do something right now. Let's go back to Ticklish Picklewickle and Dudek the Pole, the only Polish driver left on the grid after that hefty crash for Kierownik on lap 4. Dudek goes wide. Through club. Let's see what that means for TPW. As they are starting lap 17, we are halfway through the race. And there's some action left in the driver's pockets, hopefully. The Ticklish Picklewickle keeps it calm, safe and collected. And capitalizes on Dudek's mistake, going a little bit deep into village. And I think that is Ticklish Picklewickle into P4 right now. Too fast, just a second ahead of him. Could be joining the fight soon. Well, forcing the a little bit. I think Too Fast could call a podium a really big success if he can keep it like that. But Dudek regains the 4th position. Ticklish Picklewickle goes a little bit slow into stall. Gets a slingshot though onto the next turn. Let's see if he contends for the position again. This is the answer, but no is the outcome. And Ticklish Picklewickle drops down into P5 once again. Not that I need a lap. Well, not quite close to each other, but they are in no man's land after that crash. Stephen Curry 1 minute 20 seconds ahead of them. Though Padawan is dropping, it seems like he doesn't have the pace today to contest for the win. Let's go back to Dudek the Pole, Ticklish Pickle and Too Fast. Could be an interesting fight for the podium indeed. Ordano is making a pit stop. Well, that's quite unexpected, I think. He already had to pit for damage. He has the correct tires. Maybe he forgot to refuel, but from what the speedometer says, it is not in the case, indeed. So, wonder what has he pitted for. And let us go back into the fight for P3, and Dudek the pole goes for the switchback. Too fast, actually slow in the middle of the corner. That allows Dudek to get a good run on the Bejra driver. That also allows Ticklish Pickle, well, not doesn't invite him to the fight, but he'll observe closely what happens in front of him. And well, Lord Arano retires from the race. Well, we know what the pit stop was for. And Dudek the pole comfortably takes P3. No major issues. Was faster than Dudek anyway, but faster than Too Fast, excuse me. But let's see if Too Fast has any answer. I don't think so, but let's see. Let's watch them. What's surprising me is that we have one Bejra team, we don't have two Bejra teams. Because I think we have 4 Bejra drivers. Oh, and Ticklish Pickle disposes of Too Fast now as well. And Too Fast drops into 5th. Well, like I was saying, we have Nidap, we have Paul, we have Too Fast. So we have 3 drivers. But they could make a undermanned team. Anyway, I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but maybe we can ask them later. Don't know. But maybe we see another episode of the fight between Ticklish Pickle and Dudek now. Fight for the podium. DPW, the Dane, our coordinator, already with a win and with 3 podiums. 1 second place, 2 third places. Well, the win was of course in the preseason round, which was not... there were no points given out for that round. So, no official wins yet. Quite some few podiums. Maybe he can win in the upcoming rounds. We know that well, he's safe driver a calm one, but once in a while he has one of those beast mode races where he can fight for the win. One instance is the GT3 Season 14 League on Nordschleife. A dominant display there from him. Oh, and he goes down the inside of Dudek into Village right now. Takes 3rd place from him, and Dudek is actually not done with him. Let's see how it unfolds into Chapel. But Ticklish will play the long game. He gives the spot back and will try once again later. And that invites the Too Fast back into the fight, now actually 3/10 behind Ticklish. But like I was saying, Nordschleife in GT3 Season 14, dominant display on that circuit. Also, he was driving the Ginetta, which benefited him a little. Because really slow on the straights, but pretty quick in the corners. And too fast drops a little. Perhaps waiting for Ticklish and Dudek to fight again. Old Padawan dropping even further from WMDR Mountain. Could mean big points for him in the championship fight. And I think indeed after this round we will see WMDR Mountain advancing to third spot in the driver standings, and Ticklish tries to move around the inside. I'm really sorry, that was my mother. Yeah, well, I'm very sorry, that was my mother. Anyway, back into the race. Well, like I said, Old Padawan lapping almost 1 second slower than WMDR Mountain right now. Seems like the wet weather isn't quite his strong suit. Ticklish Pickle in the meantime jumps into third. But as we know, it's not very easy to drop a contender from your back. Dudek trying to capitalize on this slipstream now on Hunger Street. Goes alongside into Stowe, and another change in the podium position. Dudek goes back into third. English Pickle millimeters behind them. He goes for the inside for the second corner. Let's see who gets a better run of two fast gains from the squabble. Right behind them. I'm not guessing we will have a 3 wide into Abbey, but Too Fast can definitely gain on those two fighting right now. Ticklish Pickle briefly ahead as we are getting ever closer to village. You know, this is like a bit like commentating snooker, because I commentate calmly. It's not like Formula 1 where anything can happen out of nowhere, and you know, you have like to be on the edge, ready for everything. Go, oh, they touch, Martin, they touch. No, I'm not saying it's not interesting. It's just a bit weird to commentate something like that. You would expect racing to be a little bit quicker. Dudek pulls alongside again, and again into Stowe he goes in third. You know, I would be probably, I mean, I'm not used to commentating faster cars. I've always really commentated slower cars racing. Interestingly enough, Dudek goes wide into club. Let's see if he keeps the third place. Ticklish Pickle and Too Fast right behind him, a little bit of a train forming up. I don't think GC Rider can catch them. Actually, GC Rider making pretty good recovery after that early pit stop mishap into P6 right now. And let's see, Ticklish Pickawicko right behind. Will he make the move into village? Yes is the answer. Can he make the move stick? That's 2 out of 2. And he is up into third for now. As we are heading onto the hangar straight, let's see if Too Fast can make something, because he is getting ready. He is like a beast in a bush, waiting for his prey to come, waiting for the podium place to come to him, pretty much. It is actually getting a very good run of Chapel. Keeping third, getting a little bit of a gap. I need to stop using the chase cam. I'm using it so often, I swear. Let me get a bit of water. As we are in Great Britain today on Silverstone, I have a bottle of water. We got quite some good car racing in it, mate. Sorry, that was my best imitation of a British person I could have done. I could also try Scottish accent, but Andrex would probably be better in me than that, or Erity, or whoever's Scottish. Too Fast. As as always, we can say, on the back of Dudek. As always for the last few laps, of course. Could get a slingshot run through hangar straight from that chapel turn. Wonder where is it, the chapel? Is it? Oh, he actually doesn't want to go for the move. Goes off the throttle definitely earlier than that turn suggests to. And surprisingly enough, one thing I haven't noticed, Old Padawan is still dropping, and actually dropping so much that that Ticklish and company could catch him up before the end of the race. Ticklish 1 second on average quicker than Old Padawan right now. Well, we could have a 4-way fight for P2 right now. Well, I need to stay I need to stay neutral. But I think we all know who would I have won it on the podium here. Well, the answer is not obvious. If you know me, then you could say one thing. If you don't know me, you could say another thing. Really. And it's not like I'm a famous person or anything, so. But Old Padawan definitely stressed right now, as the gap is 2 seconds between him and Ticklish right now. Actually, Ticklish now getting used to that P3. He is not getting attacked by Dudek anymore, despite the gap is still quite small. Too Fast still not really being aggressive or anything. I think he's content with the P5. Let's see the lap times now. Old Padawan 1.5 seconds, 1.5 second slower than Ticklish on that last lap. Gap is smaller and smaller, and Dudek back on the gearbox of Ticklish once again goes down the inside for Village. That is definitely great news for Old Padawan. Not great news for either of the two fighting for P3 right now, though, because the fight means they will be losing time to Old Padawan, even if they are faster than him normally. And Too Fast capitalizes on the two squabbling, goes briefly ahead of Ticklish, but he'll have the outside for Stowe. Decides to wait another day. Another lap, really, not another day. But you get what I mean. Too fast. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, and Dudek knocks the 100-meter board off. Hopefully that doesn't mean damage. Goes into third right now. Too Fast gets a great run out of club onto the Hamilton straight. And like I said, that has gained old Padawan so much time to the P3 spot. Too Fast drops into his position of 5th. Ticklish 4th, and Dudek runs away with P3 for now. Oh. I think it's a repeating pattern we see today. One driver getting a position 2 behind him fighting, but once they are done with the fight, they catch back up to that driver that initially got the gap, which is very interesting. Because you see Dudek had pretty much 1 second of a gap and lost so much time that he's back in the fight again. Like I said, that's a pattern that's repeating itself today, almost like in the Matrix. And Ticklish will go for... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Definitely too much throttle on the paddle there. That allows Too Fast to get a run on him. It won't capitalize on it. Won't gain much from it. And 2.5 seconds between Dudek and Old Padawan as they are starting lap 30. WMD Martin, he doesn't even have to try. Slower than the contestants fighting for P3 right now, but it does not amuse him. He's got such a big gap that he won't be stressed about the fight going on behind him. Dudek keeping third, but like I said, Ticklish catching up back to him. Old Padawan second. Perhaps happy that fight is going on behind him, not with him. Let's see, Ticklish could make a move into Stowe now. Yes, that is indeed the case. Takes the inside Stowe. But Dudek gets a better run of the exit. Ticklish makes the same mistake once again. Goes with too much throttle onto the paddle. And loses time. Crew Club now half a second behind Dudek. And I think the gap to Old Padawan is now the smallest it's ever been. 1 second between P2 and P3. Old Padawan being sent an envelope with an invite to the fight right now, as we have 4 laps to go in the feature race. Dudek goes defensive, keeps the 3rd position. And Old Padawan makes a mistake, which puts him into the fight. He has accepted the invite, maybe not willingly, but he is indeed in the fight right now. Dudek getting the slipstream of him. Will try to go around the outside for Stowe. Can't go alongside yet. That's a 4-way fight for P2 as we have 4 laps to go, starting lap 32 soon. And they still make the same mistake. They still use too much throttle on the paddle. Old Padawan still keeping his 2nd place, but Dudek for now free from Ticklish Pikuliko and Too Fast. Let's see, as we are driving through Abbey, what will happen? Old Padawan has the inside for village. Dudek tries to go deep. Oh, and that is not what we want to see. Heavy crash between Old Padawan and Dudek the Pole. Too fast for you, jumps into second. Ticklish Pickle Wickle follows him. Too fast gets a better run on the hangar straight. And well, very, very unlucky day for Old Padawan indeed. He will definitely not be happy after that. The car is toast, as the iRacing spotter would have said. But let's see again. Ticklish Pickle Wickle goes down the inside of Too Fast in stow. We'll take second for now. Makes the same mistake once again. Too Fast gets pretty much an ideal run through the paddle and regains second spot. Oh, heavy, really heavy hit to Tony Clifton's or Old Padawan's championship hopes. Will mean that WMD Martin will indeed take the championship lead. Dudek actually hasn't got that heavy damage from the crash. Keeps it going in P4. As we saw, Old Padawan's car was pretty much not in state to race anymore, and oh, that's a really sad view. Old Padawan pulling on the grass on Hunger Straight, and that's the race over for him. Heartbreaking stuff in feature race to in season 2 of Formula Rookie. But we have to go back to the fight. We can't keep looking at Old Padawan's crashed car. Ticklish Pickle Wickle can't stop making the same mistake in the paddle. Will drop back into third after a brief jump to P2 in stow. Gets a better run onto the Hamilton straight. As they are entering lap 34, WMD Martin started that a long time ago. He has nothing to worry about. Cruising for the victory, cruising home with his second win. Oh, and that's Too Fast, almost spinning, catching that slide. And that means Dudek is invited back into the fight for the podium. Oh, that is interesting indeed. Too Fast makes a mistake, goes into the grass, and that means a second spot for Ticklish Pickle Wickle. Pretty much secured already. We know Too Fast is a bit slower than the Dane, and that could mean bad news for Too Fast, as Dudek can also overtake him. Oh, Dudek very close there to a catastrophe. I just want to see if Ticklish Pickle Wickle, how he goes through the paddle now. Once again, too much throttle. Loses time, but keeps second place comfortably for now, as WMD Martin has already started the last lap. Absolute domination today. Great pace in the wet for WMD Martin. Although that is not the last lap we would have wanted to see. No fight going on for now, unless one of the two, either Ticklish Pickle Wickle or Too Fast, makes a mistake. Then we could see some mix in the top places. But I think it won't be the case. WMD Martin going through stow for the last time. He's cruising home with a victory. Dominant display. Absolutely deserved victory. Supreme pace comparing to the rest of the grid today. WMD Martin crosses club, goes really wide on the curb actually, but that does not matter. He will go onto the Hamilton straight, weaving from happiness. And WMD Martin takes the feature race victory here on Silverstone. But let's go back to our podium contenders. Dudek so close, hitting too fast, another contact with another car, and it will be a photo finish, a run to the finish line. Let's see who will come out on top. And Dudek wins on track, but I think that the penalty demotes him back into 4th. 1 second more of a penalty than Too Fast had, and that is first podium in the season for Too Fast. Dietrich Spikovic takes second. Another great display from another great driver. And, well, Dudek can definitely be a bit disappointed with the display today. Great pace again, but great mistakes once again as well. GC Rider takes 5th. We see some massacre, I don't really know what's going on the track anymore. Paul crosses the line in 6th after that early crash. No, it was Nidalap, excuse me. Stephen Carey already crossed the line in 7th. Then we have Nidalap. Old Padawan won't finish the race, will keep his car on the track after it was toasted pretty much. Lord Arono has retired halfway through the race, and same goes for Kirovnik, who has retired on the start of the race. After that crash that we couldn't have seen in its full glory, if crashes are in any way glorious. But well, that is indeed the end of race 2. Stay tuned for the interviews, as we could have some of our winners or podium finishers in the commentary booth. Well, I think some results here today were definitely wins, even if they weren't wins on track. So that means WMD Martin will take the lead in the driver standings. And we have Dudek the Paul ready for an interview, so let's get him back in. Let's get him into the commentary booth. So, Dudek the Paul, our representative of 8 Stars Racing, hello. Oh, excuse me for a little second, I have the wrong device set on Discord. Okay, I can hear you now. So,
Hello,
great finish for 8 Stars in race 1, a little bit less lucky in race 2, Kirovnik DNFing, and you coming in P4 after that penalty. Tell me about it from your perspective.
Yeah, the first race was really enjoyable, to be fair. I had a great battle, and if I didn't have the penalties, then I reckon probably in the second race I would definitely have P3. But yeah, just the lack of consistency, I guess, kind of cost me. But still, there were some great battles.
Uh, Tell me, do you think you had the pace for victory in any race? Because you were quite a little bit unlucky, but we know you on raw pace. You are really quick. You could probably fight for victories.
Yeah, definitely. Like when it came to just practicing and everything, and when I would like compare lap times, I'm definitely a contender for race of victories. I would say though I'm a bit too far away now to try and compete for the championship, but the odd victory here and there is definitely possible.
Well, uh, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the case. We still have quite a few rounds to go, and well, you are right now. Not counting the Silverstone finishes, you were 84 points off of the leader. And you can say it's a big gap, but we also have big points paying out in this series. Also, one more thing. Are you looking more on the individual side of things, or do you think about the Constructors' Championship as well? Because you had a really strong showing in race one. The Constructors' Championship maybe not on, well, a little bit on the sidelines, but don't look at it as importantly as on the individual side of things.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still fighting for constructors as well with Kirovnik. Unfortunately, his DNF was actually caused by myself, and
Oh,
yeah, basically I predicted the start in race two perfectly, and I literally turned right, literally I would say 100 milliseconds too late, and then I just tagged his rear tire, which unfortunately flipped him, but. Yeah, no, I definitely do want to still fight for the constructors. It's definitely not individual.
well, we saw Kirovnik uh, having a really spectacular crash, but we haven't really seen the reason. Now we know. Well, that's quite unlucky. Well, I'm just hoping it goes better next time out for you guys. I'm supposed to be neutral as a commentator, but well, I'm trying to support my fellow countrymen. So so yeah,
Yeah,
uh
it's okay. I'm also Polish,
yeah,
so yeah.
I'm also Polish.
Yeah. I thought that.
So
Hopefully next time the countrymen won't collide.
yes. So thank you for the interview. I'll get the next guys in. And
Yeah.
well, good luck for the next round.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Good evening. Good evening. Well, good night. Well, anyway, let's get the next guy in. Uh, let's get WMDR Martin in. Why not? So WMDR Martin, you took your second victory today. Very dominant display. Tell me a little bit from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, definitely happy with that. It was, I think probably the last rain race of the season we have, so it's definitely gonna have to put in a lot of effort to stay in front on the other tracks that we're gonna be racing on. But yeah, it's this car seems to have the pretty good pace in the wet, especially on the stable setup. Ironically enough, and I feel like the understeer that I get in the dry is just like it disappears in the wet, which is very counterintuitive, but it's definitely helpful getting me these wins.
Well, I can't say really because well, I've I never have driven those cars, but well, let's go back to race one. You had the 7 seconds penalty that dropped you off the podium, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. Because I mean the game enforces track limits differently depending on what session it is apparently. Because in time trial it's pretty strict. But then when I did like free practice with track limits on, I got almost no penalties at all. And then like I do the race and it's penalty here, penalty there, penalties all over the place.
Yeah, well, project cars are really weird, let's say, penalty system. You uh for some tracks you pretty much always end up with everyone at least having 1 second of a penalty, but
Oh,
uh
definitely.
yeah,
And
it,
the
it pretty
thing,
much was the case today as well.
yeah, and the thing as well is it gives you a penalty even if you put three wheels off the track. Like if my right front is still like within a meter of the track, it'll still give me a penalty for those other three wheels. And even if you like run wide, for instance, and you lose time or you touch some grass, it's gives you a penalty for that too. So I think I finished P3 on track in the end, but
Yep.
yeah, that was another weird thing because I was fighting with Dudek, and going into that final corner, I turn in for the apex because the little indicator that's supposed to tell me where he is just didn't do anything. So I thought he was gone for some reason. But then I ended up turning in on him and got an extra penalty for that because the game told me to give back the position like I'd overtaken him off the track when I don't think I was ever off the track. So it was a very confusing finish there.
It sounds really unlucky, but I also want to mention I've well, I'm not a maths expert, but I'm pretty sure you will be taking the lead of the championship standings after this race. Do you think you have the pace to beat Tony Clifton in the upcoming 2 rounds? We have Indianapolis and we have, let me check, and we have Brands Hatch. Do you think you will be strong enough on those 2 circuits to defend that lead?
I honestly can't say because the pace of this car, at least with a gamepad, varies from track to track. It's
Oh, I
I'd say
forgot you race on a gamepad.
yeah. So I'm definitely
Well,
racing
that's
on
even more
X.
impressive then.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, it's the main downside about this fixed setup league is that I cannot really change the steering ratio. And if I'm like on
Oh,
full
yeah.
lock to the left or right, the wheel is not going to turn full lock to the left or right. Like it only turns maybe like 45 degrees or something like that, which in long high speed corners is not ideal.
Explains a little bit why you are so quick in the wets.
Yeah, and it definitely explains why I was struggling so much in that preseason race in I think it was Willow Springs because that track is almost entirely long corners.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm not sure if I'll have the pace to beat him. Probably the pace to like stick right behind him, but we'll see what opportunities come. And I do hope he continues because after the incidents of the last race, he um he just stopped the car and said that he might not end up continuing the league because he was very annoyed.
Yeah, he was really unlucky today. 2 really big crashes. Well, he was of course on pace. Race 2 not so much. Before that crash, you had pretty much 11, 12 seconds of a lead on him, but he had really strong pace anyway. Could have definitely ended up on the podium in both races. But yeah, things happened. Hopefully he continues because that fight for the championship could be very interesting between you and him.
Definitely, because I think overall on average he's got the pace on me by a little bit in these cars.
Well, I need to be neutral, so I won't add in my 2 pennies. But but well, good luck for the next rounds, and thank you for coming in for the interview.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah, good night. So, second interview done and dusted, and we will have the last interview of the day here. We have Ticklish Picklewickle coming in. Oh, Ticklish Picklewickle, our coordinator and moderator. Hello. Very strong showing from you today. P5 and P2. A lot of squabbling in race 2. But you came out victorious. Victorious. Well, second, maybe not entirely a victory, but I think it was still a very good showing.
I am. I'm definitely happy with that. And just a correction: the first race, there was some sort of glitch. Some guys are saying he missed like one of the. I guess there are like checkpoints around the track, so he lost a lap. Tony lost a lap.
Yep.
Old Padawan. So he will be classified as third. So that means I will move back to
Oh,
sixth, but still a good result nonetheless. But just wanted to clear that up.
well, good. We have a clarification. I saw in the in-game chat that Tony had missed one of the. I'm not sure what one of the checkpoints after that collision with Kirovnik.
Yeah, that's the one where he was put a lap behind. So he will get that lap back, which means he will be in third position because he was in front of Kirapnik at the end there. So
Uh, Tell me a little bit of about the second race though, because you were driving really safe, waited for the correct opportunity, and it came to you. Two of your rivals collided. You had the pace on too fast, and you finished second.
yeah, I mean I'm very happy with it. It was kind of mediocre. I was kind of keeping with the pack before the rain came, and I mean it was decent enough, but I wasn't really making any ground. But then I think I pitted more or less at the right moment. I could have maybe have gone one more lap like Martin did, but I mean I chose the safer opportunity, and I don't think I would have gained that much time by staying out one more lap. So um, I think that was more or less perfect timing for the pit stop. And yeah, I mean then once we were like in the wet conditions, I had some pretty good pace actually. So and I was able to be in the squabble with I think it was Too Fast, Dudek, and
And Tony Clifton
the third
later.
guy. Yeah, Tony Clifton later. Yeah. So yeah. Um, I was kind of like we were kind of going back and forth, me and Dudek. But we were like all in all, we were gaining on Tony like every single lap.
Yep.
And then obviously once we were we reached him, Dudek obviously collided unfortunately with Tony. But yeah, that gave the opportunity for me and Too Fast to go for it. And actually initially Too Fast took the position, but then I later on took it back because I think he hit a puddle or something. So that was unfortunate for him, but good for me, and I'm definitely pleased with the result.
We've seen, I think it's now 5 podiums from you in the rounds that gave out points, because you had a victory. Oh, excuse me, that's 3 podiums. Because you had a victory in Willow Springs, but that was not classified as a points race. It was as a points races. It was 2 races. It was the preseason round. Do you think you can still get a victory in, or on? We have Indianapolis and Brands Hatch coming.
I mean, I hope so. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely be. I would do my best to do well. I've done like decently in Indianapolis. In other leagues that we've done. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be there. It could also be Brands Hatch. I don't know, but I'm gonna be trying my hardest. But I mean, we don't know. But I hope to get a win. That would be nice.
Okay. And one last question: Is your teammate coming back? Because he only has two finishes this season, and well, you are P5 in the constructor standings right now, but you could still very much fight even for P2 in the standings, because well, Anderstein Central has a very hefty lead, but you can still gain many points in the standings.
Well, I mean, I hope he's gonna do more races. But yeah, he has a bit of uh um a busy job, I guess, or it's not really busy, but it's more like he can get calls in like unexpected times, and then he's gonna
Oh, he
be at
has
work at like
moving hours in
3
his job.
a.m. Yeah, right. So it's not really he don't really know from like day to day when he's gonna gonna like work the next day. So yeah, it's a little bit unreliable, but I mean it's fine.
Oh,
We're
okay.
representing the Danish nation, so that's all that matters. And I'm just here for the enjoyment, so I don't really mind as long as he does his best when he's on the track. Then that's fine by me.
Well, I don't know if calling your teammate unreliable is good publicity for him, but thank you for clarifying anyway. Well, and
No, I mean I was more referring to his job being
oh,
unreliable.
okay, okay, yep. So, thank you for the interview, and well, good luck for the upcoming rounds.
Thank you very much.
Yep, have a good night.
You too.
Okay. Oh, that's all the interviews done. Thank you very much for joining me today. Uh, Interesting racing today, definitely. Great fight for the podium in race 2. Great fight for the win in race 1. I could only hope for more drivers in this league. I think everything else is perfect. We had a lot of great racing today. I heard the racing in Zuhai was great as well, but we couldn't see that round streamed. And well, please join me for the next round next week if it's going to be streamed. I have a bit of a moving schedule, but I hopefully will be there next time out. Like I said earlier, thank you for joining me today. I'm hoping you enjoyed all the racing, and I'm hoping that I wasn't really awkward as usual. And well, have a good night. Have a good any part of day you are currently in. It's obviously pretty much night already for us in Europe. 11 p.m. for me, 10 p.m. for guys in Great Britain. Yep. So that's it. That's it for the race today. For the races. It was 2 races. See you next time. Goodbye.